They finally got his ass, y'all. They finally got him. Now what he gonna do?
Chud the Builder, the racist, rage-baiting IRL streamer from Tennessee, is in some trouble after shooting a man, shooting himself, and being arrested for it all. Now, before we start this video, I want to make it clear, we do not condone or promote racism in any way, shape, or form on this channel, and I have carefully edited this video to comply with all of YouTube's very strict policies. So hopefully this doesn't get demonetized for any reason, because all we are doing is providing commentary and going over what people shouldn't do. May 13th, 2026, it was 1:20 in the afternoon when law enforcement responded to the Montgomery County courthouse in Clarksville, Tennessee, after reports of shots fired. Arriving on scene, they'd find two men shot who were fighting each other when one drew a gun, shooting the other and himself in the process. Immediately, social media exploded as the shooter was identified as none other than 28-year-old Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder. The IRL streamer known for rage baiting the public with racial slurs and his catchphrase, "They're chimping out."
You got me f***ed up. I'll smack the shit out of you in here. Yeah, keep talking shit, I'ma show you.
It's the usual suspect.
And I'ma show you. Don't say a mother thing to my kids.
I wonder who pissed her off. She's chimping out. Chimping out.
Yeah, man. Don't say shit to my kids.
She's chimping out.
Now, this video would clearly show a woman enraged, but wouldn't show the interaction leading up to it. Without full context, Chud would post a video attempting to push stereotypes and promote prejudice as he says the usual suspects. But in this next video, Chud would blatantly use the N-word and show everyone the type of person he is.
You know, my favorite line from the is, you got freedom of speech, you just don't have the freedom of consequences from your speech. It's like telling an inmate, hey, you got the freedom to leave your jail cell, you just don't have the freedom of consequence. Hey, you got the freedom to speak, but we're going to threaten you with deadly violence if you do use that freedom. Hey, you got the freedom to leave your jail cell, but we're going to threaten you with deadly violence if you do use that freedom. It doesn't sound like the inmate's very free. Oh, well, we all know that because he's an inmate. Oh, but it doesn't sound like the white man's very free. You're going to threaten me with deadly violence? You're going to threaten to starve my family and my company? Am I really free to do that? And if I'm not free, then why are we not fighting for our freedoms back? Are we just okay with losing our freedoms as white people?
A weak attempt at justifying racism with freedom of speech. Comparing himself to an inmate who lacks freedom because he receives threats for being blatantly racist and disrespectful just shows you how weak Chud or Dalton really is. Because Dalton is the type of person that wants the ability to bully without the consequence of getting beat. To further prove this point, Chud would go out of his way to target and disrespect any black person he thought he could get a reaction from, hoping for a viral moment he could monetize and profit off. And he would do this by claiming he was exercising his freedom of speech protected by his First Amendment. But when he ran into someone who was not only willing to defend themselves, but to actually fight, Chud hid behind the Second Amendment, his right to bear arms.
He chimping out. He said, what's the issue? Because I looked at him.
Chimping out?
He chimping out.
Put that phone down. Put
Why?
that phone down.
You don't like looking ugly?
Put that phone down, bitch ass boy.
Shut up. Come on, come do something.
Put that phone down.
Come do something.
Put that phone
Pull
down.
up.
Oh, he got found. Put
Yeah,
that
yeah.
phone down.
Walk
He got
up.
found. All right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, all right.
They chimping out. They chimping out. They parked in the fire lane, chimping out. They mad. They mad because I'm holding my shit.
I'm right here.
You better get out of my face.
I'm right here.
Get out of my face, boy.
So Chud wasn't just rage baiting the public, he was provoking while armed, waiting for someone to assault him so he had the so-called legal excuse to defend himself.
Man, what?
But legally, that isn't stand your ground. Tennessee is very similar to where I live at, Florida. Florida is very similar to Texas. All three of these states share the stand your ground law. But one of the little conditions for stand your ground is you cannot lawfully stand your ground if you provoked the confrontation.
Come do something. Come do something. Pull up.
Oh, he got found.
Yeah, walk up.
So for example, you can't tell somebody fuck you, and when they say they're gonna do something or they call you this and that, you say try me, touch me, hit me, swing. I bet you won't. That's provoking. Somebody does something to you and then you pop them. That's not self-defense. You caused that. Chud would post his version of events to Twitter stating, "They are parking in the fire lane, chimps blaring music and dancing outside of the car. Got mad at me when I walked by with visible disgust. Proceeded to chimp out through the entire store. Usual suspects, plus 100 fatigue." This post would get over 4.8 million views, and some of Chud's videos would reach tens of millions of views. He'd follow up with a video addressing those who called him out for hiding behind a gun, telling him to try his antics without one.
The chimps keep saying, "Why do you need the gun though? Leave the gun at home." Why do I need a gun? To protect myself while just simply existing as a free man. I can say what I want. We can say whatever we want. This is America. You shouldn't react with a chimp out or violent aggression, threats of deadly violence. That just proves our point. Oh, do this without the gun though. Hey, cowboy, leave your gun at home and then come out in the street and do a duel.
What he gonna do when he get his ass locked up though and he ain't got that gun or no phone? He ain't gonna be talking like that then.
You dumb? The cowboy's always got his gun. Are you stupid? You're a bitch. No, you are. You're chimping out because I'm a free man and you're mad. I don't know who you are. Y'all know who I am.
And if it wasn't a gun he relied on, it was mace, because spraying people was another way he could bring in even more views, equaling more money. So again, he'd target whoever he thought would react, even preying on the homeless in a park.
The constitutional right to record. I don't need to ask you if I can exercise my freedom.
You're not gonna tell us you can't record anybody.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Y'all gotta learn the law.
No, well,
Y'all gotta learn the law.
If somebody
Don't walk up on me. Stay right there.
What's gonna happen? It's a public park. What's gonna happen? Walk anywhere in public.
Keep coming up.
You gonna punch me? Walk anywhere in public.
I'm gonna mace your ass real quick.
Mace? Oh, is that all? So you're one of those guys?
I'll spray the shit out you, yeah.
I would rather you punch me in my face.
Just learn how to act, bro.
Learn how to act. Learn how to ask. Learn how to ask.
Why are you acting like a right now?
Acting like a what?
You heard me. Sit down.
Oh, sit down. If I stand up, what's the penalty?
Come on. Look at him.
If I stand up, what's the penalty?
Y'all need to learn how to act.
Don't make it move, man.
Y'all need to learn how. We can record all we want around here.
Record it, brother, man.
Now Chud would get called out for his antics.
He seen that dude sneaking up behind him. He hurried up and jumped back. Scary ass, man.
Leave you alone, you racist predator piece of shit! Because you're a fucking racist predator piece of shit!
And the police would speak with him numerous times, but of course he'd play victim.
If what you're doing is going around using racial slurs and profanity, that's a little different.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Are you gonna argue that in court? Because I walked into the gas station and walked out. Okay. And as I'm walking to my truck, I turn around, he's got something behind his back that looks like a gun. It's a drill.
Well, they're saying that.
So I don't give a fuck what they're saying. It's all recorded.
I got you.
And it's live streamed.
I know, I got you. And I'm just telling you.
And I have every right to say whatever I want on the internet without being chimped out on in public.
See, Big Bad Chud is really insecure Dalton, who once looked like Bieber. Mugshots from when he was 18 and 19.
Man, look at him. These be the types right here. Right here, bruh. Lame as hell. Look at dude, man.
Face.
If he
and he'd
only
even
knew.
address old photos of him saying or posting the pics of the old fat me. I lost 150 pounds and reshaped my entire body years before Ozempic was ever heard of. They want you to stay fat and low T. They are afraid of what you could become. What this tells me is Chud most likely got on testosterone, lost a baby face, grew a mustache and muscles, and felt the confidence he never had as a youth. But this would also explain his fixation with bullying. It's nothing more than a reflection of his insecurities, and while now he might look like Chud, in the back of his head, he forever feels like Dalton. So he has to bully people to feed his ego to make himself feel better. Now the name Chud the Builder apparently comes from the fact that he owned a contracting company, but his racist rants would completely put him out of business. so he'd start a GiveSendGo account in an attempt to raise $100,000. The post would state, "Dear friends, supporters, and champions of free speech, my name is Dalton Etherly, and I'm reaching out with a heavy heart, fighting to protect my family and my business. Just over 1 year ago, I started DLE contracting in Clarksville, Tennessee out of sheer necessity. I was fired from my previous contracting job after BLM activists targeted me over words I shared online, jokes and opinions they twisted to end my career. With no other way to support my family and my precious 2-year-old son, I poured everything into this small business, working tirelessly to provide for my family and build a future. But now, that dream is under attack. Not for the quality of my work, but for what I say online. I've shared mild jokes, unfiltered thoughts, and yes, sometimes I've used the N-word in what I thought was edgy, harmless humor. I know it's controversial, but it's my right to speak freely. For that, hundreds of people in my city are slandering my business, spreading lies to tear down everything I've worked for. The hate has escalated to a horrifying level. I've received death threats so vile they shake me to my core. People threatening to rape and murder me, and even targeting my innocent 2-year-old son with unspeakable cruelty. As a father, hearing these threats against my little boy breaks my heart and keeps me up at night.
So now he playing the victim.
In the midst of this nightmare, a spark of hope emerged. I went viral on Instagram, gaining over 23,000 followers who connect with my story, my resilience, and my refusal to be silenced. People are beginning to stand up for American ideals and values. This platform is a chance to turn things around, but right now, I'm broke. This slander has crushed my business's income, and I'm struggling to keep food on the table, pay our bills, and protect my family from this onslaught. I need your help to bridge this gap and rebuild. Your donation will go toward covering basic living expenses to keep my family secure. Exploring legal options to fight the slander.
So basically, he wants somebody to take care of him while he out here calling people the N-word. Then he says a lot of fans reaching out to him, feeling the exact same way. But why they ain't making no videos like you doing? They know not to play like that. You the only one out here that's doing it. And he raising money. It's crazy.
And protect my family from these vicious threats. Find new ways to create a sustainable income for me and my family. This isn't just about money. It's about standing up to a mob, trying to destroy not just my family's future over words, but our rights to free speech as a whole. If you've ever felt silenced, attacked, or punished for your beliefs, you know this fight. My business, only a year old, was born from necessity after I was canceled once before, and now I'm facing it again. With your support, I can rise above this hate, provide for my family, and prove that cancel culture won't break us. Every dollar, every share, every prayer means the world to us. Thank you for standing with my family in this battle for freedom and survival. With gratitude, Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder. Once again, playing the victim, Chud would try to market his downfall as being silenced, attacked, and stripped of his rights. He was attempting to play the martyr in the hopes that like-minded people would rally behind him, and some fell for the play. Chud was already facing criminal charges for harassment, and his public defender would withdraw from the case after discovering Chud raised over $40,000. And Chud's donations have now passed over $60,000. And the whole time, reading through his well thought out speech, whatever you want to call it, right?
GoFundMe.
Hearing how people have targeted him for mild jokes that he said online, things that weren't meant to be taken as so serious. He might have said the N-word, but it wasn't nothing that nobody should be offended to the point that they ruin his business, right? And his First Amendment has been attacked, his freedom of speech. But you know what other right he had the whole entire time? The right to shut the fuck up. The entire time, this man possessed the right to shut the fuck up and get offline. And if you can clearly see that what you're doing is building a hate train of people that do not like that shit, why would you continue to do it? I should have the right to piss off a bunch of people, but y'all shouldn't have the right to be upset with me. So when your reviews go so bad, your business tanks, you want to blame it on the people, but not take responsibility for the shit you spewed into the world. It doesn't work like that. Again, people love being able to do what they want, but they want to be able to pick the consequence. And that's not how this world works. On May 7th, less than a week before the shooting, Chud posted a Twitter stating, "I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm. Series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting while I walk free. Stay tuned." Now this message right here, it's a clear indication of
he talking like he already
exactly
know
where this was going, and he was still continuing to incite it. This is pouring gas on a fire. You know how this is gonna end. You know eventually someone's gonna try to do something, and you've played it so many times in your mind, you're gonna pull out and shoot them. You're gonna pull out and shoot them. You're literally saying it online. If you threaten me with harm, with violence, I'm gonna defend myself with lethal force. This whole time you were looking for an excuse to hurt somebody because of whatever hurt you had inside of you that you felt you needed to project all of this negativity. Chud had also recently been arrested after being kicked out of a restaurant and refusing to pay for appetizers. And apparently he'd be visited by the FBI, who warned him about what he was doing and the possibility of what could happen. So he talked about it. The FBI came and saw him and were like, look, what you're doing could potentially cause riots. What you're doing could potentially get you hurt or lead to you hurting somebody. They knew what was gonna happen, literally, before it happened. And it's just like, was there no legal thing that they could have done to intervene in this situation? Because when you have somebody, right, there's a lot of laws in which they can easily disarm people. If there's a mental health situation going on, they can disarm you, right? Because you have to qualify mentally to a mental capacity to even own or possess firearms. So when you see somebody inciting shit, when you see somebody provoking people, is there not a law in which you can disarm that person, which would essentially stop them from doing that shit? Or is that getting into the line of, oh, the government's just gonna use that as a means of disarming the people? Because I don't agree with that. I support the Second Amendment 100%, even though I lost my right to bear arms when I was convicted of a felony. I don't have that right, but I 100% support everyone else's right to defend themselves and their family. But when you're purposely provoking and inciting a situation in which your whole game plan is to shoot someone when they try you, the thing I don't like about it is it shows you're a bitch with a gun. And 9 times out of 10, the softest, scariest person is the first one to shoot. Because the power behind that gun, that's the cause of you doing this shit. The empowerment. It's no different than a corrupt cop putting on that badge and belt. All of a sudden, their shit just got this much bigger because they have this power. And that's the same thing he was acting like. So when he's stripped of that, how is he as a man? Is he gonna stand 10 toes with all these people and talk how he talks? Or is he gonna fold because he no longer has that power? Well, the same day of the shooting, Chud posted to Twitter reenacting to a video of DJ Academics speaking with Sneeko, and Chud would say, "Insane, the FBI interviews me for not paying for 2 appetizers that I didn't get to finish before being rudely kicked out of the restaurant. However, blacks can actively call for people to blow my brains out, and they give 0 fucks."
Trump went out there and like clapped that nigga from Iran, that fucking supreme leader. That might have to be Chud. Get him out the way, because he's trying to start some shit. We ain't trying to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people die over a word.
Well, he's problematic. We might like somebody might have to just do it. I don't care who do it. Black, white, who cares?
I care. I don't want to see people die for a stupid reason.
I guess.
Advocating for violence is not the way. If
nobody wants
to prevent race.
He's the violent one. You don't realize he's the violent one?
Isn't he majority acting in? He's acting in self-defense, right?
Fuck no. Do you see what he's saying? Man. He's daring people to do something.
Words aren't violent, Act. Words aren't violent.
Your rhetoric can be insightful.
Now, I personally don't agree with academics saying what someone should and shouldn't do, and including himself in the situation by saying we. Because at the end of the day, that could be blowback for him that I'm sure he didn't mean. When someone is doing shit like this, and they're specifically...
No, man, he's just speaking on the situation because we call it how we see it. But the way he going, somebody gonna knock his top off. Anybody can say that. It's not saying that I'm gonna pay somebody or... hey, go do this or I'm gonna tell somebody. No, the way he acting, somebody gonna knock his top off. If he go to jail, he ain't gonna have he ain't gonna have that energy. He ain't gonna have that attitude. If you go to jail or prison, they own him. Guarantee you.
Targeting a certain community, I could understand him being upset.
For real.
I'm not gonna call for extreme violence in that situation, and I don't want someone to do something I'm not willing to do myself. But there was a man outside of that courtroom who was willing to risk it all, even his own life, and he decided to put hands on Chud. Now, luckily, the shooting victim would survive, and no one else should fall victim to Chud's trap, as Montgomery sheriffs have announced he's been charged with attempted murder, employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a weapon. Under Tennessee law, attempted murder carries up to 25 years. Employing a firearm during a dangerous felony is up to 15 years, with a mandatory minimum of 6. Aggravated assault is another 15, and reckless endangerment with a weapon is up to 6. So at max, Chud the Builder is now...
So he was bold to even put himself on camera carrying a firearm, knowing he wasn't supposed to have one. They should have been got him if they seen his video go viral, 10 million, all them millions of views. They do the black people like that. They see somebody with a gun in the picture or whatever, they're going to go lock them up. So why they couldn't do him like that? It's a plain video.
Facing 61 years in Tennessee State Prison. The man who tried to align racism with freedom of speech and act hard while hiding behind a gun is now in jail where his supply of testosterone is no longer. Each day incarcerated, Chud will slowly turn back into Dalton, and we all know he isn't going to be in general population. He's going to be tucked away in protective custody because now he doesn't have his gun.
And they still got a way to get to him because it'll be some real stand-up guys that'll check in just to go see about him. So he can't go nowhere. Like 61 years, boy.
To hide behind. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's what he get.
This is Tennessee. This is the South we're talking about.
Yes.
I don't know about Montgomery County specifically, how that jail is, but Tennessee State Prison, yeah, he ain't gonna be the majority in there at fucking all. I'm gonna be honest with you. California made a hell of a name for like the white racist people inside of prisons, but in the South, that shit just holds no weight. White people are a minority. The only reason the numbers say otherwise is because they classify Latinos as white when they go to prison. There's so many. You can go on the Florida Department of Corrections website. You'll see a full-blown Mexican man and it's going to say white. Cuban, white. Puerto Rican, maybe something else. But for the most part, they fuck those numbers up. So it'll say there's a huge white population. But when you're in there, it's a whole nother ball game. And I guarantee you that Dalton is not going to be that way inside of there. The way he hides behind the law, the way he hides behind the Second Amendment, he hides behind this, he hides behind that. He's not going to stand on business and walk around saying that shit inside of jail because they're going to be popping on him left and right unless he's in an all-white dorm. Prison, it ain't going to happen like that. And because of the notoriety in this case, they might have placed him in protective custody just so he doesn't fall victim inside of there. depending on how that jail is. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know. I don't see him acting like that when it's just him.
He ain't gonna act like
with
that.
No weapon to defend himself.
He ain't gonna act like that.
But like I said, I don't condone any of this. Looking at him, you can tell he definitely got on some juice to get that size. All of a sudden, he's just yoked up with this fucking cowboy mustache, and you can tell it's usually the people like
But
that.
they finna knock all the juice out his ass.
It like never fails. It's like when you see a truck, right? You see this fucking Ford, whatever, or a TRX truck fly by you. And it's like jacked up, whatever, rims is crazy. And then when they pull up and get out, the guy's like 5'2". You know what I mean? Like the insecurities just show. So when you see somebody who's juiced up, acting like they're big and bad, usually they're trying to make up and compensate for something else. And this situation, I hope the man that swung on him doesn't get charged. I hope he doesn't, to be honest with you, because he was provoked like everyone else was provoked.
Facts.
He swung a punch for every single person that Chud Dalton previously recorded, ridiculed, provoked, incited. That man swung for everybody, and I applaud him for that. He's got some balls, because if he knew who he was, he knows he had it on him, and he used it, and that man took a bullet for the people. But hey, let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comments.
Man, he finna get handled soon. He get through them gates. Like, he ain't gotta go in there and act like nothing, because everybody know who he is now. He done went viral plenty of times. I know people calling home, you know what I'm saying, seeing what's going on. They talking about him, he doing this and that. So yeah, and or people calling home and people putting him on game. So when he do come in, it's a wrap. I heard his bond is 1.25 million. So hey, that GoFundMe better pick on up, cause they own you, and that's what you get. I don't feel sorry for nobody like that. I don't care. I don't feel sorry for nobody like that. He gonna get what he deserve. Drop y'all thoughts and opinions in the comments, and if you on his side, fuck you.